right to a channel of light fluid. Welcome back to Distant Travels. It has been a while since we last did this, but Grunt has been hard at work all this time working on this. So I know from his update that this new build has Mike's Chapter 4, a new prologue, all Mike's memories. So we're not going to go into the prologue. That's kind of going backwards from where we are. So I'm going to just carry on with Mike's Chapter 4, where we left things off last time. And if you remember, Axel and Mike had been bonding a bit, and they'd passed by a Spectre, which caused a few problems for the crew as well. I have not had a chance to read this through yet, so I don't know exactly how long Mike's Chapter 4 is. Probably quite long, so we'll be going for a certain time and I'll find a good spot to end, and then we'll be carrying on with it before too long. The standard thing. So yep, that's the plan for this latest build of Distant Travels. Let's catch up with Chapter 4. It feels as if time passes faster than usual, and you catch yourself thinking about how much your outlook has changed. Everyone else seems more normal as well, when you're not in a deep funk yourself. As the evening comes and you finish up dinner, you find yourself saying no to Max as he asks if you want to watch a movie together. Instead, you admit to both him and yourself it's time to go talk to Rex. After his episode, he'd been recovering in the medbay for a few days before being moved to a locked cabin. All because of me. Is it even alright if I try to go see him? Am I allowed to? You want to, so go for it. You can always ask. Hey, Mike?
Well, good evening, handsome.
Would it be alright if I went to see Rex?
Of course, if he's taking visitors. Do you want me to come with you?
It's nice of him to offer. Yeah, let's take him along. I think that's a good idea.
Come over the bridge. I'll finish up here and we can walk there together. Does that sound okay?
Okay, I'll see you soon.
You make your way over to the bridge. Before entering, doubt reaches you.
The more I think about this, the more nervous I'm getting. But it's something I want to do. Both for me and for Rex.
As you're about to enter the bridge, Mike exits into the corridor. Seems like he knows his timings. He smiles broadly and pats your shoulder as he greets you. Oh, hi there, handsome. Ready?
Yeah, it's time.
Mike nods and the two of you start walking towards the medbay. You walk in silence for a couple of minutes before Mike speaks. I imagine Rex feels a lot like you do. The statement is simple, and he lets it hang for a few seconds before continuing. Remember that if you ever want to leave or become uncomfortable, you don't need to make excuses. Everyone understands that things feel difficult. Rex more than anyone.
I'll be fine, I think. I just hope Rex won't mind talking to me.
Mike thinks about it for a few seconds. I honestly don't know, but we can always ask him. He's no less Rex now than before, just because of, well...
He lets the words trail off, leaving the rest unsaid. The two of you stop outside a locked door next to the medbay.
Here we are.
Mike knocks softly on the door and waits for an answer. You hear movement inside before a familiar voice speaks.
Who is it?
There's Mike and Axel.
It takes a little bit before Rex responds. Are you sure Axel wants to see me?
He's the one who asked.
Mike looks at you questioningly. You nod in response. You didn't hesitate this time.
Would you like me to wait outside or come inside with you?
I think we should just do this one-on-one with Rex. If you don't mind waiting outside, I think that's best.
Of course. I'll be right here if you need anything.
Rex? There's an instant sound of movement inside the room. Rex approaches the door and speaks softly. Axel? Yeah, hey. Hi. How are you feeling? I think I'm the one supposed to ask you that. How are you doing in there? I'm doing fine, considering everything. Can I come inside? I'm not sure you should. I did something horrible that could have ruined your life. I'm sorry for making this all happen. That's not true. I didn't make anything happen. This happened because of my problems. I'm going to come inside now. There's some shuffling as Rex moves away from the door. The inside of the room is plain but comfortable. There's a screen playing a movie and Rex seems overall quite relaxed. Well, here's home for the rest of the trip. What happens after we land? I'll go to jail, there'll be a court hearing, perhaps even a trial. Then I'll get to serve the deserved sentence. That sounds rough. It's quite lenient, really, with what could have happened due to my actions. Don't worry, Axel. It's all fair. It still just feels wrong. That's life. Can I ask you why you did it? Oh, I lost it and went violent? Yeah. It's the reality of what happened, regardless of how it feels. I've had some difficult thoughts for a long time. I thought I was dealing with them well. I really shouldn't even have been on this trip. Unlike most of the crew, I wasn't selected by the Firefly. I was brought on by the government as per some fringe rules about contact with alien civilizations. I would never have been here if we just have listened to Charles and everyone. I think you've done some good things. I know more about Arctos than I ever would have otherwise. I'm sure you've learned more about humans and Earth than anyone else here. Thanks. It's not true, but thank you for thinking that. There's a moment of silence when nobody speaks. You taught me a lot, Rex.
Well, not really, but he was friendly to you.
Rex lets out a deep sigh. And to answer your question, I truly felt like I was looking at my past, looking at you. I saw my own loss in you. I saw Arctos find another world. Then I saw the path we were taking towards it. A path that historically has led to nothing but destruction. I didn't want Arctos to destroy another world, not with its own problems. I didn't want to help Arctos destroy another world. I don't think you have, or that you would, regardless of what happened to me. And the Spectre hit. It intensified those thoughts by 1,000,000. As if I had the chance to turn back time and undo my biggest regrets. It's like he was attacked by his own thoughts.
Almost.
I can relate to the feeling of that, being attacked by my own thoughts.
Not only your own thoughts,
So I did what I thought best. Obviously, it was not a good thing for anyone. I saw you as young, dumb and naive, tricked into being here and having no chance to turn it to a good thing. Instead, I was a naive one, falling for the tricks of my own mind. Well, there you have it. It felt like I was helping destroy another world, and I didn't want that. There's no excuse for putting you in such danger, but for what it's worth, I'm sorry. I truly am. Thanks. You don't need to apologize to me. I'm fine. He just smiles sadly at that. Earth does have the benefit of being what I call a sister planet to Arctos. What does that mean? It means that Earth and Arctos are so similar that I think we can relate, truly relate. I think, deep down, that's the saving grace. We can understand each other. And that's important. Sister planet? I think that's all I needed to know. Thanks for telling me everything, Rex. I'll come see you tomorrow? I think I'd rather you not. I appreciate it, Axel, but I need time to think. I put everyone in immense danger. I still don't fully know exactly why it happened. You might forgive me, but I don't forgive me. Not yet. Sorry. I understand. Thanks for talking with me, and take care. You exit the room, not quite sure yet where to place your feelings. At least there's some new perspective. Mike gets out from the chair he'd been sitting in and greets you as you exit the room and close the door behind you. The two of you start walking back. You find your gaze drawn to the stars in the distance. Did you get your answers? Yes and no. I think I knew most of that already, to be honest. And even if it feels unfulfilling not getting a happy ending to the entire thing, it's good that we talked about it. Some kind of closure, I guess. Oh, I'm glad. He stops you with a hand on your shoulder and slowly pulls you into a bear hug. He holds you for a little bit before sighing softly and letting you go. I know it's difficult, but things will turn out all right. For you and for Rex. You nod. As he walks you back to your cabin, the world feels just a little lighter. It takes you a while to fall asleep after you head to bed, but eventually you manage. Some closure is better than none. The next day you wake up as usual. Things don't feel cramped or silent. It's more of a normal day, like before the Spectre. You make your way to the canteen. The atmosphere is more lively than usual. There's a few people talking in seemingly high spirits as you enter the room. Strangely enough, no one seems to be eating yet. I wonder what's going on. Axel, my favourite human. You're up extra early. Good morning. Good morning. There's more people than usual here today. You hear a grunt from Gerald in the corner as he looks out from whatever he's reading and towards you. Morning. Everyone seems to be up early today. Breakfast isn't done yet. It's Mike's turn to cook today. I can make you something if you like. I'm in a rush. I think I'll just take a seat and relax a little. Sounds chill. That's the way, lad. You spot an empty seat by the window and make your way there. I wonder if I'll ever get bored of seeing the stars all the time like this. Well, it becomes normal eventually. Everything does. Doesn't seem all that different to winter so far. The constant darkness outside the window and the lights inside. and the stars shining bright, as if to show they won't be dark forever.
Max responds from across the room, all but shouting.
Did Mike and Rex finally rub off on you?
Who's doing what to who now?
I'm confused being romantic would be you, John. Besides, they're best done together.
Max lets out a groan.
Same old, they say. Same old humour, same boomers even.
I'm a simple man, not a boomer. What's a boomer?
Max looks like he's about to say something rather rude while rethinking his words. John hears what he thinks is a dirty joke, suddenly he's like a child at New Year's. John really is like a child at Christmas most of the time.
Oh no, I'm surrounded by the people I love.
Isn't that basically everyone, if you get to pick? Simmer down, children.
Yes, Uncle Max.
It's an odd feeling, seeing everyone this happy and excited. So you take your seat by the window to wait for Mike to finish making breakfast for everyone. You think back to your own childhood. Or well, rather you try. Speaking of, what's New Year's? Christmas like where you're from, Axel? I imagine for most people it's like what you imagine. Like a child at Christmas is a common saying where I'm from. Can you imagine? I thought you celebrated that holiday. You spot Charles entering the room, looking at you as if trying to read your face while Max asks that.
Well, it's too early in the morning for those kinds of questions, Max. Leave the lad be. There's still a while before the waffles will be ready.
Oh, waffles?
Oh, can't wait. Literally.
John makes his way over the kitchen area of the canteen, leaving the rest of you to your own devices. Max already seems engrossed in another conversation with Geralt, who is as usual mostly responding with grunts and hms. As you finally think you're about to get a moment of respite, Charles approaches you.
Good morning.
Can I offer you some tea? Charles hands you a cup of what seems to be black tea. It smells sweet. It smells great. Charles definitely knows his tea. Oh, thanks.
You're welcome.
Charles sits down next to you, looking out the window. He leaves some space between the two of you, as if to signal there's room if you want to be left alone. Seems like a nice middle ground in regards to the rowdy atmosphere. It's like everyone has their spot where they fit in, where everyone's gathered like this. You look over to Charles, who's reading something on a portable screen. He sighs contentedly as he takes a sip of his tea, and you mimic his actions by reflex. It's relaxing, drinking the tea and watching the stars go by. Solemn even, like time stops when you think yourself away. Like a child at Christmas, huh? I wonder if I ever was like that. Mostly when I think back, it's all skewed. I kind of know what happened, or what was supposed to have happened. What if the people told me? Or short, vivid snippets of that part of my life? There are large pieces missing. The missing pieces, eh? Perhaps that's why I am how I am. I feel different or distant from others. Distant. Well, I'm pretty distant to everyone I grew up with now. In more than one way. You aim your gaze out of the window, trying to, well, see just how far away from home you are. Now the stars aren't all that distant anymore. Still, the stars look the same somehow. The position is different, but they are the same stars. Probably. It's been a long time since then, hasn't it? The world was a different place. Simpler. Right? Well, maybe not in all aspects. I guess mostly I just didn't care much for any problems back then. Regardless of how bad things were, looking back at them now, your thoughts bring you back. They bring you to a specific moment when you were a young child.
You're outside with your sister and father, at the countryside house where you lived way back then. Fairly sure my father stayed there, until the end. You had gone out to look at the northern lights that were supposed to happen that night. The northern lights did not show up, but you did look at the stars together. That was a simpler time, I've decided. Sure, there are plenty of problems all around me, and I was suffering, really. I wasn't old enough to understand, or care. I was just learning things and marvelling at it existing. And it's hard to do nowadays. That's the downside about having a wider perspective. If you don't look at it the right way, that is. Even now. Once again, your mind plays the memory back. It's more vivid than your other memories. It's not something you can remember thinking about before in detail, but with the view in front of you, the memory becomes vivid. It's as if the scene is replaying itself in your mind, except you know it's a memory. It's not one of those memories someone else has told you about your childhood that seems so real. No, this one is your own. You remember sitting on your father's shoulders. Your legs and feet hurt so much you couldn't walk. I don't remember why. Yeah, watch your step. Don't fall in the snow. The voice pulls you out of your thinking. Just like it did back then. No northern lights. There are no clouds. Stars are out tonight. It's cold. Yeah, put your hood up. It'll warm you up a little. It's so dark. Why are we out here? It's not so dark. Well, I want to show you the northern lights. Not northern lights, but the stars are out tonight. A silly thought strikes you, and you put your arms up as high as you can, reaching out your hands as if trying to catch the stars. The folly of trying to catch the stars. A young mind's prerogative, isn't it? What are you doing? Nothing. Are you trying to be a superhero? No, I want to pretend I could catch one. Said quite matter-of-factly. Yeah, reach the stars and you'll land in the treetops. Or at least the snow. You can't catch a star, they're too far. They're quite mysterious, aren't they? Are you going to be an astronaut when you grow up? No, I'm going to be a police officer. A police officer? Yes, I'm going to save people. Me too. Okay then, let me teach you something. You see that very bright star over there? They're all bright. I see it. That's the northern star. It doesn't move a lot, just like a compass, always to the north. But Daddy, the stars don't move. They do for us, since the Earth rotates. Around its axis, I know it. Why did I think of that? Probably because times were simpler and I didn't really worry as much. I'm not even sure. Probably because I don't really know exactly what I'm going to do. I've been drifting for a while now, aimlessly. But I also kind of finally have somewhere I want to go, something I want to do. I want to see as much as I can near Arctos. I want to see if I can do something to help them. Perhaps something a little less passive than just letting them do research. But what could I do? That memory's a rare one. I wasn't afraid of that. No fear of violence, no terror about making mistakes or saying something wrong. I was still a happy kid. No abuse, no fear of, well, everything. Not quite, but I'm sure you didn't know at that point. It's kind of fucked up. Still, I guess it's a good memory. A deep voice breaks you out of your thoughts. Morning. Is there anything interesting in the stars? Mike points to the window you're staring at.
Morning. Just reminiscing, thinking of a childhood memory.
Stars do that. Want to share?
I was out watching the stars with my father and one of my sisters when I was very young. I jumped out and reached for them, wanting to catch one.
Being up here has got you pretty close to that.
That's true. I think I'd catch ones we go by if I tried really hard.
It'd be difficult. I'm sure you could if you tried. Want some help?
And make sure I don't fall when I jump up and reach for them.
I'll catch you.
Mike takes his... Mike takes a seat next to you on the opposite side of Charles.
Do you have many fond memories of your childhood?
A few. To be honest, mostly sad ones. I don't even know that many of them.
Not that many.
He raises an eyebrow as you ponder if you've said too much. But, fuck it. Go with it, was it? You don't even notice how you let that thought slip out into spoken words. I don't remember that much of growing up. Mostly just feelings and some major events. I don't mean to eavesdrop, but I couldn't help. Do you by any chance mean signs of dissociative amnesia? That's the term, I think. Charles sits up attentively. How do you feel about it? Mike listens carefully. I've accepted it. I've pushed things back for a reason, I think. Sometimes they come back, like now. It's not always bad. Although half the time it feels like my brain is shuddering when they do. Would you like me to look into possible treatments for that? I think I'm alright with it. Well, thanks for offering, Doc. Not sure I'd want that, truly. Well, do let me know if you change your mind, Axel. I will.
We do have some top-tier treatments available to us. Things Earth hasn't managed yet.
That's good to know. They drop the subject, seemingly understanding that it's something you don't want to talk about right now. There's a few minutes where everyone gets some breakfast before starting their day properly. Eventually everyone seems to settle into their preferred spots.
So, how was running away? Not so bad, right?
Running away? Did Axel miss that we're on a spaceship?
We took a break from the world and enjoyed zero grav in the cargo space.
Cargo space?
No.
No, do that. Cargo road.
Give it a few years and you might.
Sorry, couldn't help myself. Geralt takes a sip of his coffee and leans back, returning to his paper, seemingly satisfied with his joke. It's starting to feel more and more like home here. So, what's the plan from now on? We had things that needed doing, if I remember.
I think you're ready to get back to normal.
Depends on what normal is, I think.
Well, if you're up for it, I'd like you to start where you left off after shadowing Lieutenant Knight. That's Bruce for a day. That means spending time with Dr. Stevenson. The command, that's me, Sergeant Stonebadge, and our engineer, John Maddox, in the coming days.
Mike says the names and ranks in an unusually formal way. I wonder what the significance behind that is.
Your expression must have betrayed your thoughts. He smiles at you to ease any worries. I'll need to update you on some protocol and bureaucracy before we get closer to Theoma and Arctos. It's not too important, but it'll make you look good. If we ever introduce you to anyone else from Arctos, that is.
He almost looks a little nervous for a few seconds. I'll try to remember, but I can't promise anything. I barely know the military ranks of the country I live in, so I've been experienced in them from an entirely different world.
If you remember just one or two, you'll impress.
There's a slight pause in the conversation. Where do I start then? With the shadowing, I mean.
You hear a grunt from Gerald as he sets his book down. Start the lad off with something slow. The dock, perhaps?
Mike seems to be thinking for a second, before he decides on something.
How about you stick with Sergeant Gerald Stonebadge today? From the last report, his schedule should be quite relaxed for now. Humph. That right with you, Axel? As intimidating as he might seem, he's been looking out for you since he met you. He's giving dad vibes. Nice dad vibes, I guess. That sounds like a good idea. When do we start? Well, let's finish our breakfast and head over to security. There's no rush, so take your time. With that, he returns to his book. That's that sorted. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a few things I need to catch up on. Paperwork, mostly. Oof. See you later, Commander. I'll talk to you later. He gives you a smile, pats you on the shoulder, and leaves with a cup of coffee in his hand. Seems like it'll be a slow start today. You finally grab some breakfast, waffles, and eat while scrolling through some news from back home on your phone. Not that you're all that interested. Your town is very quiet after all. Half an hour later, you finish your breakfast and cleaned up after yourself. Geralt seems to notice and approaches you. All ready? Yes, sir. He puts his book under his arm and exits the canteen, turning his head back slightly to make sure you are following. You haven't been down to security before, have you? Not yet. Haven't had much of a reason to. He grunts in response for answering. Well, I'd say that is a good thing. Well, I would have until Rex had his episode. I'm not sure I want to talk about Rex with him already. It was inevitable, but I'd have liked to have had more time first. I'm not quite sure how to respond to that. You keep walking in silence. I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable, but it's a good reminder for the future. Always make sure you know how to stay safe in case of an emergency. Always have a plan. Might as well ask then. So, about Rex. You don't finish the sentence, but Geralt understands anyway. He'll be all right. I'm sure the doc will give him a fair assessment as we turn him over to the council. Have you thought much about why he did what he did? A lot. I think I understand and can relate to some parts, but definitely not to a lot of it. I think he had so much weight to carry inside. It must really have been difficult. And I'm sad things happened as they did. You're a good lad. Geralt stops an unmarked door and opens it with a few pushes on a panel next to the door. Here it is. Welcome to security. It's my second time having this role in the Firefly, so I can't really call it home yet. The old security chief was Val, or Valentine. So if you hear his name, that's why. Still, the safest place on the ship. There's no signs or anything. Nope, shouldn't be needed. As you enter the room, Geralt puts on some soft background music on the speakers. The room mostly looks like an office. There are 2 desks with monitors and other generic office equipment. The main difference here being the obvious locked weapons lockers and the large monitors showing diagnostics of the ship. Let's start with routine. You're technically automatically cleared since the captain cleared you. It can't hurt to go through protocol for working in security. Here, start by filling out this form. He walks up to the desk closest to the door and starts pressing buttons on the keyboard while letting out a sigh. That'll be a minute. Not used to the new system. You take the time to look over the computer setup. It doesn't seem too complicated. The keyboard layout is different, but everything seems marked. After a few more grunts and sighs, Geralt seems satisfied. Alright, here you go. Let me know if you need help. He steps aside and you sit down on the surprisingly comfortable chair and start looking through the form. You start filling the basics. Name, age, city of residence. Interestingly enough, there's no country to fill in. There's no country to fill in? Well, no. Arcos is united since some 50 years ago. It's a regional city, so most documentation just go by city. From my understanding, Earth is much, much larger than Arctos. Oh, definitely. This wouldn't work on Earth. There's even multiple towns or villages with the same name within some countries. Well, how many humans are there anyway? We're almost up to 8 billion. Billion? Humans must really like fucking creating offspring. I guess. For reference, we're about 27 million Arctonians of last year. It might be less than though. There's been a lot of old wars on Earth, hasn't it?
Lots of them in our history. Humans rarely get along for a long time.
Figured. I looked up some of the history. One thing Earth seemed good at was hailing its heroes. Figure Arctos could learn some of that.
You don't remember your heroes?
We do, we just don't chronicle them. There's a shrine or two, but no books, no insights, no songs. Figure that's what I'll be bringing back with me for my wish.
There's some silence as your alt suddenly turns back to sorting some papers. You keep filling the form until you hit previous occupation and expected new rank. Sorry, what do I fill here? I'm not really actually part of the military.
Just put your current occupation. It's just for the ship's documentation anyway. I figure you've been here at all is big enough for happening for anyone to know looking back at it. How does that feel anyway, being the first human leaving your galaxy?
As far as you know. I'm honestly not sure. It's exciting when I think about it, but when I'm just doing my thing every day, it's just like normal. Being on the Firefly isn't too different from just waking up and going to work at home.
Well, more interesting in varying jobs, but I think you get the point.
The main difference would be that I'm not really doing too much after work. No parties are like. Not that I was a huge party animal before coming here.
Parties? Should plan one then.
On the Firefly?
Yeah, I'm sure Bruce has some liquor stashed somewhere. You just got to ask folks if they're interested and see what people can scrounge up. There's really nothing stopping you unless Mike says no. Some I doubt he'd stop you though. You found his soft spots.
Fuck it, I'll go with it. It's led me this far. Albite, you interested in a party this weekend?
Well, I can be there. I can't bring much personally, but I'll give you some advice on where to find stuff. You should probably ask John for snacks and Bruce or the dog for drinks, if you want them.
Charles, really?
He's more into the finer stuff. I'm sure he has a bottle of wine to share if you ask. As for planning, Max is usually bored out of his mind. I'm sure Frank can help with setting things up as well.
I'm not sure Frank likes me enough to help.
Well, Frank does like anyone. He's always happy when something different happens. Imagine being the janitors and get to leave work for a few months at a time.
Okay, I get the picture.
Now, back to those forms. I'll finish prepping the intro.
As you fill out the rest of the forms, your mind is occupied with thoughts of what you could do to plan a party on a spaceship. What would I even plan? If it's anything like I do with everyone back home, it'd just be some slow music, drinking and talking. Most everyone here is a little older than my friends. Wonder what a party on Arctos is like. Can't be that much different from Earth. I'll ask Max, I guess. But then again, he's a little younger. Old enough to have been to a few parties at least. Although he's been studying pretty hard before joining the Firefly, from what I remember. I'll just ask him. You eventually finish filling out the forms as much as possible. Alright, it's all done.
Oh, great, let me take a look.
He scans over the first form and saves it down to his desktop, named Form 1, open brackets, 4, close brackets. I get the chance to go over some basic IT security and standards with him.
Oh, that looks good.
He stands up and stretches his back out.
Alright, next I'll go over some basic ship safety with you, and if we have time I'll go over some basic firearms training.
Firearms?
Oh, don't worry, I'm not planning to arm you. I think you might as well learn some safety around them after what happened earlier. If nothing else, it's knowledge that might save your life, or someone else's at some point.
Okay, alright. You can't help but sound a little nervous, even though you're not that worried.
We'll see when we get there, don't worry.
Geralt steps over the monitor where he's setting things up earlier and brings up a hologram of the Firefly.
Alright, you've seen this before. It's the Firefly.
John showed me briefly back on Earth, but I don't remember too much.
Alright, here's the important spots to remember. Security. This place doubles as a shelter. The second place you should go in emergency if you can't make it here is your own room. Next up, medical. Speaks for itself, really. And finally, engineering. If the ship stops and it's called all hands on deck, this is where you need to go.
I think I've got all those memorized from just walking around the ship.
Ah, perfect. Next up, basic rules. No smoking, no fire unless you're watching it extremely closely. I don't think you should be able to catch on fire easily, but if it does, there's no running away.
Makes sense.
There's some military basics as well. Always follow the chain of command. On this ship there would be Mike, Charles, Bruce, me, then Sean and Max in order.
Not John.
He's technically a civilian employed by the AAF by contract through his employer. His actual employer is the Civil Defense. Same goes for Frank and Rex. Continuing, as a civilian you have the right to refuse any order you deem unsafe. There's really no legal consequences, but if you go wild you'll likely not step foot on the spaceship once you land.
Makes sense.
That said, you're in a fairly unique position.
He scratches his chin and seems to be in deep thought for a moment.
You're probably classed as a diplomat right now. We'll have to double check that with Mike later. As for titles and such, there's no need, but it's a good look if you try to remember them if you ever speak to anyone from Arctos. This trip is unlike anything anyone had experienced, be it any other situation or any of the crew. So it's to keep up appearances.
I'll try my best. I suppose not everyone from Arctos is as relaxed as the people I've met here.
You'll do just fine, lad.
Geralt spends the next couple of hours going through how to access different protocols and features regarding the Firefly, if he would have been a proper part of the crew. He finishes by setting up a profile view of the form he filled in. Looks like he'll have access to security now. He can even book some training facilities on Arctos. I'll never get to go there properly. Once you finish up, it's almost dinner time.
I think we can save the firearms training for another day. I have some statistics for ship shields and weapons I need to run. It's quite automatic, but I still need to read through the logs as they come in. It takes about an hour. I suggest you stay and watch, but you look a little tired already. You're dismissed for today, trainee.
Thanks, Sergeant. I'll see you later. Geralt sits down the monitor of the grunts you leave the room. As you exit the room, you can't help but feel a little uncomfortable. It's weird. You feel like you've done something wrong or said something bad, even though you really haven't. Like you've just had a bad dream you can't shake, or relived a bad memory. You stop and take a few deep breaths before continuing on your way. At the same time, on the bridge...
From Arctos. That's an emergency call. Call sign Shield. Operation Savior. Emergency line. Reading. Shield. This is Arctos. Code Bravo 69. Reading. You're up early, Commander. Good morning, Chairman. Firefly listening. I wasn't aware you had access to this emergency line. The situation has changed. I trust your journey is going well, Commander.
Mike stiffens up noticeably.
You're not even wearing regular uniform? No tie? Is the subject even under watch? Sir, must I remind you there is a no-contact order outside of planet-wide emergencies? Unless there is something important, keep the emergency line clear.
My apologies. I just thought something might be off when the esteemed captain himself is not following uniform protocol.
The crew know who I am, uniform or not. Now, why are you calling?
The bat clears his throat and straightens his back. The council has received disturbing information about the third Endless White disaster, moving closer to core.
The one that went stagnant?
Yes, you should know him very well. You were there, after all.
Keep it relevant, or I'll close the line. Emergency line or not.
His voice is deep and stern. My apologies. I did not mean to strike a nerve. Due to the changed circumstances, the council requests that you bring the subject to core. It is our wish and intent to request the subject to assist us in research for countering the Endless White immediately.
His name is Axel.
My apologies again, Commander. It is the council's wish that you do your utmost to bring Axel to core.
I'll ask him.
I trust that you will make it happen.
I'll ask him.
Mike lets out a sigh while turning to his navigator, sending a message.
Aye. No time to doubt. I just hope he'll take it well. I wish Watt was still here. He'd know what to do. Watch over me, will you, Watt? Until we save our world. So I'm not sure, because the changes I have access to all of Mike's memories, but I'm going to be playing through this anyway. I might do a small video or extra series maybe of Mike's memories at some point. I'll have to look into them and see what we can do there. Okay, just we'll fill in there. Ideas. Literally ideas that I'm reading this thing and getting a video recorded. Okay, enough of me waffling. We need to get back to this story. And back to Axel, who's on the Firefly, just outside security. The corridor seems eerily quiet, after having spent most of the day talking to someone. Just as you're about to walk up the step of stairs leading towards your room, you run into an unexpected person. A human. Good evening. It's been a bit. Are you doing okay? You seem surprised by your question. Nothing unusual since Rex's crash. Why are you asking? You break something? Nope, all good. Now that you've run into him. Gerald did say to ask him for the party. I'm planning an event this weekend. A party, kind of. Are you want to join? What kind of party? Just some music, some drinks if I can manage, and some food. Just a night to relax, really. Huh. Yeah, nice. I could get drunk. He smiles, something you've never seen before. Let me know if you need anything, yeah? Yes, sir. He moves past you and starts talking to himself as he continues down the corridor. You make your way to your room and relax for half an hour before it's time for dinner. As you get out of your chair and start thinking about making your way to the canteen, your navigator beeps. How you doing, handsome?
I'm doing all right. Gerald taught me a lot.
Good. Perfect, actually. Could you come see me on the bridge? There's been some important news from Arctos and need your input.
Should I be worried?
Never. Remember, you always have the last say concerning your travels here. I'll make sure of that, no matter what.
All right, I'll be right there. As you make your way to the bridge, you can't help but feel a little uneasy. I wonder what these important news are. Will I have to turn around? Go back to Earth and nothing to show for it? Is Arctos all right? Perhaps it's something with the spaceship. Did I piss someone in the crew off? Maybe it's something today when it's with Geralt?
Eventually you make it to the bridge. The door is closed and the room inside seems quiet. As you enter the bridge, you can't help but notice how empty it feels. Nobody's here save for Mike. Mike, however, seems content and greets you with a trademark smile. "Well then, mister, how's your day with your alt?"
You mean Sergeant Stonebadge?
How's your day with Sergeant Stonebadge, Diplomat Axel?
That answers that question. It wasn't bad, not at all. You stop your sentence before adding a but. He takes a step closer and raises an eyebrow.
But?
It looks like you're still easy to read. It's weird. I have this feeling of being down that I can't shake. It's a very nice day. Gerald taught me tons of things and was good company. Sorry, I shouldn't have said anything about it. It was a nice day.
Don't apologise. Sounds like you just had some feelings catch up to you. Might even because it was a nice day. Your mind finally had some time to relax. If you're up for it, we could talk about it. I'd like to hear what's on your mind. All of it.
He looks a little uncomfortable for a second.
If you don't mind waiting until after I've shared the news from Arctos.
Sorry, what's the news? He lets out a sigh before speaking.
The endless white that remains on Arctos consists of 3 large storms. Each of these storms have a being of ash at its centre. As of when I received the latest news from Arctos, the being closest to Arctos, which had been stagnant for months now, has started moving towards core. Meaning we need to shorten our timeline as much as possible if we're to save core.
How do we do that?
Mike turns to the window and looks out to the stars with a pained expression.
He lets out a deep sigh before turning around to look at you. As his eyes catch yours, he smiles softly, though the slight pained expression remains. Well, the most direct way would take you directly to Arctos.
Mainly to make use of the researchers over there, and have you available for blood samples and the like for testing.
There's a pause where neither of you speak.
Axel, I understand just what it is I'm asking of you. It is not something I ever wanted to ask of you. And before you answer, please remember that you have no obligation to do this. If you say no, nobody will force you. I'll make sure you make it home safely no matter what. And nobody will blame you.
My go-to for life recently has been go with it. The idea comes from someone I trust. That's worked out well for me so far. I'll go with you. Just make sure I don't end up some lab guinea pig, all right?
Guinea pig?
And make sure they don't prod or research me without consent.
Never. I swear my life on it.
Mike lets out the breath it seems he was holding.
There's one more thing. When you go to Arctos, you should join the AAF. The Firefly, more specifically.
Me? Joining the Arctos military?
The AAF, Arctos Armed Forces, is set up so each crew is its own separate cell, and each has its own authority. Meaning, if you join the Firefly, nobody can tell you what to do. You're free to come and leave whenever you wish. Complete autonomy, on top of the autonomy the Firefly already has. It's what I'll write into your contract.
Would I be under someone else's control otherwise?
Not directly, but it's one of those things that should rather be written down on paper. Or in law, in this case.
How do I join?
We'll swear you in before we get to Arctos. You'll have to do some mandatory training before then. There's no test or such, but protocol is protocol.
Like with Gerald. I can do that. It was interesting.
Thank you, Axel. I'll let the crew know the change of plans tomorrow, and we'll speed up our travel time as well.
He pauses, his expression changing from thoughtful to a smile.
Well, I'm glad I'll get to show you the Octonian sky.
It's weird, but that made me feel a little better. This might supposedly be multiple times more difficult than anything else I've talked about today.
It's been the hardest thing I've had to ask of anyone in a long time.
I'm glad you feel better. There's a small pause.
Do you want to talk about your day?
About how I'm stupid enough to feel down during a great day?
Close. More about seeing if we can figure out why you felt down. There's always a reason, even if it's not always clear.
The mask of wishes cracking already. See who you are without it. Scared. Alone. Inexperienced. You're not wrong. Not really. Mike sits down in the chair next to the large table in the middle of the room, motions you to take a seat next to him. As you sit down, you feel a little fatigued. I have my ideas. I don't really want to dump my trauma on anyone. I'm a grown man, so I should be able to handle feeling a little down on my own.
Well, I'm still interested, if you would share.
Why?
I care about you. I mentioned it earlier, Axel. I like you. You told me a little bit about your past, but no hiding there's things that weigh heavy on you. With some with experience in that field, it's something I've noticed.
He looks at your face, keeping eye contact.
It's in the way you phrase some things, and how you constantly feel like you should push some things back. Like your dissociative amnesia, for example. I'm no psychologist, but it's not something that doesn't happen without its reasons.
There's a pause before you answer. It's because I'm wearing a mask of sorts. Always. If I get too comfortable, it'll drop. Once it does, the people who made me comfortable won't know me anymore. Just the mask, really.
You're afraid of letting your guard down around the people here, then? You'd always try me. Let your guard down. What was it? Your go-to has been to go with it. I promise I won't change towards you. I made a few promises to you now, and I'll keep them all.
That's part of what makes it so difficult. I don't think you like me because of the mask. To be honest, I'm not sure if you like me because I'm helping save your world or some other reason either.
I like you because of how I've been feeling being around you. Part of that is definitely you jumping right into saving my world. But I'd like you even if that wasn't the case, I'm certain. Even if we just met on the street and there was no endless white.
He looks out the window before continuing.
I'm curious now.
What's this mask of yours like?
And what is it supposedly hiding behind that's got you so worried?
You let out a breath you were barely aware that you were holding. You know when someone says good things about you and they don't feel they match? I've been called secure, smart and stable. I'm neither of those. Those are things I want. It's like I desperately search for security and stability all my life. Eventually, it's what I repeat over and over. It's what it looks like I become. Since I mimic what I want to have, who I want to be. When in reality I'm the opposite. I'm insecure, I'm inexperienced, and I'd never figure out half the things people think I should know. It's like I never got to grow up properly. These are things I should have picked up, but I didn't. I've had other things and I don't even remember them. He looks back to you, thinking before speaking.
I can't know your past, but that part I can relate to. I lost my parents and was adopted at a young age. That's what being insecure while people look at you like you should be secure. I think you can be both. To yourself, you might feel insecure and inexperienced. To others, you might seem like you got it all figured out. It's probably not looking at the same things. The same thing as be securing, or to know, or aim for.
It's not wrong. I'm not sure what to respond. It's not like the thoughts are going to go away just because there's more perspectives and ideas. It's happened before. Getting too comfortable and I change a little bit, or I don't seek so much approval. generally people think I'm neglecting them or I'm mad at them.
Well, I think you can afford to let your guard down a little more here, and on Arctos.
He seems to notice something in your expression before clarifying.
If people get disappointed or think you're mean or so, well, that's that. That's all there is to it. That's what they'll think. And it's not that bad. Despite what it might feel like, or your past experiences, I can tell you that everyone on the Firefly is kind. They won't yell at you or abandon you for it. As for Arctos, it's a new world. Despite the crisis, it's a new start for you while you're there.
Thank you, I'll try.
When we're on Arctos and when things calm down a little, I'd like you to tell me your story, all of it. Sounds like you've been through a lot, and I want to know what's made you, you.
It's not something actually important like world-eating monsters or saving a planet. It's just my life, just me.
Well, I think you're looking at your past the wrong way. When growing up, your world is small. You haven't seen so much or done much at all. Anything that happens is a big thing. So if you grow up in trauma, it is indeed very much like your entire world is hurting. So let's plan a date. We'll eat some good food and take a walk. We'll sit under the stars and you can tell me your past.
A date? Okay, when that happens I'll tell you my story. And you'll have to tell me yours. Thanks, Mike. I feel better. Good even.
And so do I. Thanks for indulging me, Axel.
Mike stands up and walks over to you, hugging you from above and resting his head on yours. A rope, hanging far above the ground, almost in reach. But is it a noose or a lifeline? And that seems like a good spot to end this episode of Distant Travels. And as I said, we will be back to it before too long. And you have to see about Mike's memories and maybe do some stuff for that. I'll check into it at some point. I don't know when that will happen, so I'm not going to commit to anything here. What I can commit to is that during the week, probably Wednesday, I'll be recording Dawn Chorus. It was going to be this weekend, but then, of course, Distant Travels came out, and yeah, let's do this. So Dawn Chorus will be in the week. We get to catch up with Bjorn there, and I really need to practice some of his lines because I do not speak Polish. It's going to be interesting. Coming up next weekend will be the concluding chapter of Second Shift. And after that, I'm not quite sure. I've been reworking the schedule for things popping up. We will be getting back into after class for some of Parker's days, which I somehow missed along the way. So that'll be happening before long. We have more boroughs with Kevin. We need to catch up on his route. I have a November one to do. Yeah, there's stuff coming up anyway. All in August. But it's great being back to this. I really enjoy this VN. And there's some great characters to voice. Even though I've totally forgotten what John's voice sounds like. And he's not in any of the videos on my hard drive. I need to go to my external to find that out. So I didn't have time today. I'll try for next time. Before we go, as always, thanks to all my donors on Ko-fi and Patreon. You're very, very much appreciated. And my top patrons are Andy Peng, Aaron Fox, Bastian, Bieka, Brian Hall, Cobus Visser, Dissonance, Zigzag, Grizz, Harvest Mouse Productions, Evan King, Kartek, Matt Kenya, Omar, Rafu, Spiderling, Smuto, Tiger Cub, Ara Amaterasu, Greylock, Lark Huskerton, Hyperdefined, and Gracious Yevon. And yes, I still haven't rewritten this thing. I need to do that. So special thanks to them, and thanks to you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed our distant travel today, and yeah, there will be more as we carry on with Mike's chapter 4. I just have no idea how many episodes we'll get out of this one, but we'll find out. So for now, until we head north for Dawn Chorus on Wednesday or so, thanks for watching, and bye for now.